Okay, Adorners, so we're in the kitchen and I've gone ahead and added my dry ingredients to a large bowl. And I actually added about a half a cap full of vinegar to my regular milk because I don't have any buttermilk. Okay, and let me show you. We're gonna whisk our dry ingredients together, and then I'm gonna incorporate our Crisco and our bacon fat, our liquid gold, and then I'm going to create our well. Let's get started. Okay, Adorners, so I've gone ahead and preheated my oven, and you can see this is all of our dry ingredients. I'm just gonna whisk this together really quickly. Our salt, our little bit of sugar, our flour, baking powder. Okay, wonderful. And then we're gonna cut in our Crisco to this. Okay, Adorners, so I'm gonna go ahead, along with our bacon fat, I'm gonna add in the 1/3 cup of chilled Crisco. I'm gonna make sure we get it all, and I'll be back. Okay, Adorners, so my oven is preheating. I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut in our Crisco to this flour really quickly, and I'll be back. Okay, Adorners, so you can see me incorporating. All right, you start to see little crumples, right, in our flour, and I'm going to go ahead and create our well, and I'll be back. Okay, Adorners, so you can see I've kind of created a hole in the center here. I have some of our milk. I'm just going to add a little bit of that. All right, we got 3/4 cup of milk. All right, and I'm just going to start incorporating that into our mixture, folding it in, and I'll be back. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pour the rest in. All right, you can see our biscuits starting to form, and I'll be back. All right, Adorners, so you can see our dough starting to form here. I'm gonna get some flour for my hands. All right, Adorners, so I have a little flour for my hands. I sprinkled some flour over our dough. All right, it looks pretty great. All right. And now if you don't want to use your hands for this, of course you could use a spatula or a rubber spatula or something like that. I'm gonna form this. Let me go ahead and flip this over and flour that side. And I will say this, if you're watching your cholesterol, this might not be the dish for you if you're watching your cholesterol. Okay, as you can see, we have our dough forming so nicely. All right, and now we can roll this out, but I'm just gonna smooth it out in the pan and take a little bit like I saw his grandmother do and just form some biscuits. I have a pan lined with a little bit of parchment, and then I'm gonna put them in the oven. The oven is already preheated to like 400, so I'm gonna just make me some biscuits here. Okay, Adorners, so I'm just gonna form about a dozen biscuits. When I was with her in the kitchen, hers were actually kind of square. I'm gonna form about a dozen, and I just wanted you to see, I've just pinched off a little bit. Now, when she was in the kitchen with me, she was just slightly moving her biscuit dough around. All right, and she had kind of a square style to hers. Okay, it was more of a square style. Okay, but now if you have your nails done, you may want to maybe try something else, to spatula or something like that, or some gloves for this. All right, and you can see here because I added in the bacon drippings to this, you can kind of see a few little pieces, specks here or there. All right, so I'm gonna make 10 more, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm on number 5. All right, and of course you can take this dough and flatten it out on the counter, roll it out and cut it, but I'm not doing that because I didn't see her do it. Okay, she just did it really quickly in her hands and just made up some biscuits that were absolutely delicious. So let me continue. All right, Adorners, so I ended up with 10 biscuits. Some of them, or a couple of them, are a little bit bigger, of course, but you should be able to get a dozen of these out of your mixture. All right, Adorners, so as you can see, our bowl is empty. I have 10 biscuits. As I said, you should be able to get a dozen. I made a couple of mine a little bit larger. Okay, I'm gonna clean up my hands and I'll be back. All right, Adorners, so you can see our biscuits are done. All right, we have our biscuits. Like I said, I have 10. You could probably add brush this with milk on the top. You could add sea salt or rosemary. I'm gonna add mine to the oven and I'll be back. Okay, donors, so I have my oven. I'm trying to preheat it to 425. As you can see, some of my biscuits are a little larger than others. And I did go ahead and incorporate that liquid gold or some of the bacon fat that I had rendering. All right, to add to this. And honestly, I had to cut down. I didn't have to, but in the recipe, it calls for a little bit more salt. But I went ahead and cut down on the salt because I used the bacon fat. Okay, plus it's Crisco too. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna get these in the oven. Okay, donors, so I've gone ahead and created our biscuits and I'm just waiting for my oven to preheat. Okay, so I'm just waiting for my oven to preheat 425. I had it preheating already, so it should be ready to go really quickly. Now, sometimes people put a milk wash over their biscuits. If you're able to do that, you're welcome to do that, or egg wash or anything. I'm not doing that today. This is just an old school. I'm gonna put these on a plate probably at the end with a little syrup and sop them up, which is what I would do if I was in Mississippi. So anyway, let's get these in the oven. We're gonna put them in the oven on 425 for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, donors, so our oven is preheated to 425 and into the oven for 12 to 15 minutes, our biscuits go. All right, 425, 12 to 15 minutes. All right, and we'll be back. Okay, donors, so our biscuits are are baking, and you know, this is just one of the things, like I said, if I was gonna do this maybe another time, I might add sea salt or rosemary. Shout out to my Aunt Retha in Jersey, she's a fantastic cook. And she would cook fried chicken and actually my grandmother on my dad's side as well. She would make fried chicken and biscuits if we were going on a picnic and you know, one of the things that people used to do because of the Jim Crow laws in the South, they didn't stop. Okay, so people didn't stop a lot. So when they were driving, so they didn't stop at restaurants. So sometimes they couldn't. So what people would actually do is people would make baskets or create food at home or cook food at home. Like my family, we would cook if we were driving, let's say from New Jersey or Texas to New Jersey or something like that, we would have like coolers packed of food and drinks and things like that, and fried chicken and biscuits and rolls and things like that we would have packed up in the car. We would stop at different picnic areas or rest stops or whatever, get out. Some of them had picnic areas. We would eat, and then we would continue our drives and be sure to drive through certain states when it was daylight. But anyway, that's just a part of history. So, all right, let's take a look at our biscuits and get ready to sop up some biscuits. All right, some syrup and biscuits. All right, our biscuits are cooking up so nicely. So if you have any family traditions like this, or you got a recipe passed on, you know, share it in the comments and let me know if you had someone in the family or something like that. Share. And if you haven't, if there's someone in your family, and I said this in a video before, maybe a year or two ago, but if you have someone in your family and they're still healthy, their mind is good, and you have a recipe that you really, really love, and you know today, if something happened to that person, the recipe will be gone for the family. You definitely want to see if they will share one. So sometimes people don't like to share, okay? But if they want to share it with you, or if you can learn how to make it, okay? So just like with music, and I said this to a friend one time, well, I guess he's a friend. But I said, you know, music has the ability to stop time, and so does food. Okay, memories are incorporated in love in the food. Anyway, so let's wait on our biscuits. We're gonna sop them with a little syrup and I'll be back. Let me clean up while the food is cooking. All right, donors, the biscuits are out of the oven. Okay, and let's have a little syrup. Okay, donors, so I'm gonna take one of my biscuits out and have it with a little syrup. Let's see here, nice. To our bowl and get some syrup. All right, donors, so we have a biscuit and some syrup. Let's try it out. All right, donors, so our biscuits are done. I'm gonna have my biscuit with a little bit of syrup. Anyway, yum, yum, yum. Hey, Adorners, so I really enjoyed making this and telling the story about the biscuits in Mississippi. But anyway, as always, thank you for joining me. See you in the next video. Please be sure to click like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Saving hello. See you in the next video.